Imagine for a second that you are like standing on the very edge of a massive roaring river.
Oh, yeah. Just feeling that raw power.
Exactly. You can actually feel the vibration of the water just humming through the soles of your boots. The mist is hitting your face. The sound is completely deafening. And the sheer volume of water moving past you is, I mean, it's almost impossible to comprehend.
Right. It's overwhelming.
Yeah. And now you know this river provides absolutely everything you need to live. Like, it is your source of food, your drinking water, your primary method of transportation.
The absolute center of your world.
But you also know, just by looking at those churning, violent whitewater rapids, that one wrong step, just one momentary lapse in judgment, and this exact same river will take your life without a second thought.
Which is pretty terrifying to think about.
It really is.
Yeah.
So how do you prepare yourself for that reality? How do you survive an environment that is, simultaneously your greatest lifeline and your most terrifying threat?
Well, I mean, it is the ultimate human dilemma, right?
Yeah.
Throughout history, we've been forced to navigate spaces that are vastly more powerful than we are.
Yeah.
And to survive, humanity has had to develop these really highly sophisticated ways to make sense of that overwhelming, chaotic power. Basically translating raw, indifferent nature into a language we can actually understand and respect.
And that tension, between life giver and life taker is the foundation of what we are getting into today. Welcome to the Deep Dive. We are thrilled you're here with us.
Absolutely.
If you are someone who loves a fascinating story that merges ancient history with modern outdoor adventure, you have come to the right place. We are looking at a stack of incredibly rich source material detailing the enduring legend of the Penobscot River guardian spirit up in the wild Northeast.
It's such a great topic.
Right, and our mountain today is to explore how this ancient indigenous legend of a water spirit is not just, some dusty relic of the past that you read about on a little plaque in a museum.
Oh, not at all.
We're going to see how it operates as a living tradition, like an active, enduring framework that continues to influence and protect and warn modern adventurers right up to this very second. We promise not to overload you with trivial dates and facts, but we are going to completely change how you look at the wilderness. So, let's head up to Maine.
So the Penobscot River is an absolute force of nature. I mean, for thousands of years, the Penobscot people have been the original stewards of this incredible, sprawling waterway.
Yeah.
As the accounts point out, this river was their highway. It was their grocery store, basically their entire world. But it was an incredibly volatile world.
Unforgiving, yeah.
Exactly. When you're traveling those waters, you are dealing with immense physical dangers. We're talking jagged, hidden rocks sitting just below the surface, sudden blinding storms that roll in without any warning, and incredibly complex rapids.
And for those who might not be whitewater experts, we aren't just talking about a bumpy canoe ride here.
No, definitely not.
We are talking about advanced, violent rapids, what modern guides would call Class 4 rapids. These are sections of the river with unavoidable waves, massive holes, and dangerous hazards where, honestly, a single mistake can easily be fatal.
Right, it's serious business.
And out of that daily reality of facing down lethal water comes the legend of the guardian spirit. According to the traditional stories, this is a staggeringly powerful water spirit.
Yeah, and the descriptions are fascinating. Sometimes the oral traditions describe it as a massive giant serpent lurking in the deep pools.
Wow.
Yeah. Other times it's presented as a more abstract, overarching protective entity. But the core function remains remarkably consistent across all the accounts. It watches over the river, and it actively monitors the people traveling on it.
Right, and it enforces this strict, uncompromising code of conduct. Like, the legend dictates that the guardian spirit actively warns those who are respectful.
Yeah, perhaps steering them away from unseen dangers with a sudden ripple or just a feeling of unease.
But for those who are careless or arrogant, or who just fail to show proper respect to the water, the stories say the spirit will actively stir up dangerous, unpredictable currents or drop a thick, blinding fog right on top of them, basically leaving them entirely at the mercy of the hazards.
Which is essentially a death sentence out there.
Okay, let's unpack this, because I really want to look at this through a modern lens to understand the utility of it.
Sure.
Think about the Penobscot River like a modern, high-speed interstate highway. But it's a highway with absolutely no speed limit signs, no painted lanes, no guardrails. And the asphalt itself is constantly shifting and rising and moving under your tires.
That's a great way to picture it. Pure chaos.
It is sheer chaos. So in an environment like that, is this ancient guardian spirit essentially the ultimate ancient safety system for navigating that chaos?
That analogy captures the dynamic perfectly. When we analyze indigenous storytelling and mythology, we aren't just looking at, entertaining campfire tales meant to spook children.
Right.
We are looking at highly sophisticated, rigorously tested survival maps. When a culture encodes vital, life-saving information about a highly unpredictable landscape into a memorable, respected, and honestly slightly terrifying entity,
Right.
like a giant river serpent,
Right?
they are ensuring that the information survives intact from generation to generation.
Because a dry academic lecture about fluid dynamics and hydropressure is going to be forgotten the exact second you get out on the water.
Oh, absolutely.
And just to define those terms quickly, fluid dynamics is basically the complex physics of how water moves and interacts with obstacles, and hydropressure is the immense physical force that water exerts on anything trapped in it. A lecture on that is just boring.
Yeah, no one is remembering that while paddling for their life.
Exactly. But a story about a giant serpent that will swallow you whole if you don't read the water correctly, that sticks with you.
It personifies the danger in a way the human brain can easily process. By giving the river a consciousness and an intentionality, the Penobscot people were essentially institutionalizing a deep, healthy paranoia.
A healthy paranoia, I like that.
Yeah, you're taught to assume the river is alive, that it is watching your every single move, and that it will react to your behavior. Operating with that kind of hyper-awareness is exactly what keeps a person alive on a volatile highway.
So if we accept that the river is a deadly, rule-free highway, the obvious question becomes, how did they get behind the wheel without crashing? Like, what was their seatbelt?
Right.
Because knowing a place is dangerous is one thing, but bridging the gap between a deep cultural belief and the physical act of launching a boat into churning rapids requires action. The sources go into detail about the specific traditional teachings and rituals of the Penobscot people before they would even touch the water.
The preparations are deeply deliberate.
Mm-hmm.
The accounts mention the strict practice of offering tobacco to the water and significantly speaking quietly to the river before setting off.
Okay.
You don't just drag your boat over the rocks, jump in, and start splashing around loudly. You stand at the edge. You introduce yourself. You consciously lower your voice.
Okay, let me push back on the mechanics of this for a second.
Go for it.
If I stand on the bank of a raging Class 4 rapid and I whisper to it and I sprinkle tobacco on the surface, I am obviously not altering the physical fluid dynamics of that water. The boulder in the middle of the river hasn't moved.
Right, the river's the same.
The volume of water rushing past hasn't decreased. So, do these rituals actually do anything to the river itself? Or is the real target here the paddler's own mind? Like, is this essentially a psychological hack to force the human brain into a moment of extreme mindfulness?
What's fascinating here is how seamlessly the psychological and the physical survival mechanisms blend together in this tradition. The physical rocks certainly don't move, but the human ego is arguably the most dangerous element you can introduce into the wilderness.
Oh, for sure.
When humans feel overconfident, they get sloppy, they rush their movements, they overlook the subtle, tiny ripple on the surface that indicates a massive submerged boulder just inches below.
They start to think they can conquer the rapid rather than just survive it.
Exactly. And a river cannot be conquered. It can only be navigated. By externalizing the river's power, by deliberately treating it as a conscious spirit that actively demands your quiet respect and humility, you are systematically stripping away your own arrogance.
You're forcing yourself to be small.
Yeah, you are forcing your brain out of its default, comfortable, everyday mode and into a state of acute, hypervigilant observation. When you speak quietly to the river, you are actually forcing yourself to listen to it.
Right.
You are calming your own central nervous system. You start noticing the wind direction, the subtle drop in temperature, the specific acoustic pitch of the current.